Hi again.
We are live.
Because no one heard us before. Wondering before we actually start. You know what, I'm going to have to off full screen now that I think about it. Because I can't see Patrick's and
Yeah, go on.
I'm sure what nonsense they're doing on board.
Just the water, please. Yeah, so this is being live streamed on YouTube and on Twitch, I believe. Just gonna wait for them to join. So then we'll get started.
Not much.
That wouldn't have been good.
That wouldn't have been a good start with it.
This might work.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me, this is so funny. Super bad. Yeah, it's a nice suit.
Got you in one camera there.
Ted, now is not the time to be chasing your tail.
Ted's just doing spinnies, the dog.
Standard. He slept all day, and then as soon as he's come on, he decided to go mad.
Not fair enough, you know.
Right, yeah, so we're going to record as well for our audio.
So let's just get straight to it.
Yeah.
So hello, welcome back to Super Necessary. Today, I'm delighted to say that we're joined by Harry and George, the Hardwick brothers. Both got upcoming fights next few weeks. So really glad to have you on, lads. Thanks for joining us.
I don't mention it. Thanks for having us.
How's things? Everything okay? Training going well?
Yeah, sound. Feeling good. Both did pads this morning. Both feeling sharp. I'm fighting next week, so I'm getting into sort of being a bit dumber phase of fight camp where I'm just like, fuck it, I'll do whatever. Just being an idiot's the best way to mentally prepare yourself for a fight, I think. So yeah.
Does that sort of go hand in hand with like weight cutting? Do you prefer to be an idiot when you're cutting as well, especially in the last week or so?
I don't know, you just kind of, if you can become I don't have to cut a lot of weight, to be fair. It's not too tough for me. But if I can just be a bit dim and just let everything happen without really caring about it, then I'm sound.
Yeah. Sounds. So let's talk about your upcoming fights then. So Harry, you've got you're fighting Federico Pasquale. Tell us what you know about him and how you see the fight playing out.
Yeah, so Federico Pasquale, he sort of had a decently impressive Cage Warriors debut in April where he managed to stop Paul McBain fairly quickly. It's a little bit marred by the fact that the stoppage itself was quite premature. I think the ref jumped in a bit too soon. And also Paul McBain has come out and said he essentially got knocked out holding pads the week before that fight, which would kind of explain why he seemed to get knocked down so easily off a jab that didn't look like it had a whole lot on it. But yeah, Pasquale looks like sort of explosive striker. Tends to like swing things pretty hard. Tries to smash his big low kicks in. He doesn't have an Instagram himself, but I went on his coach's Instagram, and he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, this Pasquale fella. Yeah, like I've not seen anything mind-blowing in his fights. He's, other than McBain, he's fought cans. Like he fought a guy a foot shorter than him who had tits in one of his fights in Italy, and it's just like his grappling just looks correct. It doesn't look special. It doesn't look like there's anything that like jumps off the page like, oh shit, like we need to be fucking on that or else that's a problem. It just looks like he does things right.
Like he's technically sound, but it's nothing you've not seen before.
Yeah, and it's against fucking whoppers on his own gym show in Italy. Like, I'm just gonna batter him.
It's like you watch his finishes and you think, oh, his back takes and his rear naked chokes are all right, but then got no one to compare it to where he's fought someone who's scrambling to get out all the time. You know, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's like me and Pasquale have had very different paths. It's like throughout my first 11 pro fights now, I've just had like really, really hard competition for every single one of them. Like, I don't think this might be the first time I've ever fought someone with less pro fights than me, thinking about it. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Normally you're at like a 2-to-1 experience disadvantage.
So that's quite nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna batter this whopper.
This is going to be the toughest test for him then, basically. He's never come across anyone like you yet.
Yeah, you'll probably be sort of like riding high on confidence. You'll have that feeling of invincibility about him. I think stylistically, it's kind of similar to when George fought an Italian. Like, it's similar to Nicola Soli. I just feel like on a psychological level, it'll be similar to that as well, where it'll sort of like the mistakes will start cascading when things start going wrong because he's not used to things going wrong.
Yeah. Because he sort of picked his opponents by the sound of it, but he hasn't fought those good opponents to be able to put in those bad positions.
Yeah, like I genuinely, from my limited stalking of him, I think the guy who fought in his pro debut is probably the stiffest bit of competition he's had, and that was ages ago. It's like, yeah, it's a strange one. It's not how I'm glad I've not done that with my career. It'd be great for my ego and stuff. Just thinking, oh, I'm undefeated. I've fought, I've walked through these people, but then like, I don't know. I can take quite a lot of pride in the fact that I have had a fucking tough, what's the word? Career so far.
Yeah. I thought you were looking for like a different word.
I don't speak English properly, so.
I was waiting for you to say career, but then I went to show if you're looking for like a different word to mean career.
So George, you're fighting for the vacant lightweight title. We can't speak English either. Let's start that again. You're fighting for the vacant lightweight title on July 22nd against Kyle Driscoll. What do you know about him and how do you see it playing out?
So I know he's got a wrestling base and he trains out of AKA. All his style is very kind of, again, it's correct, but there's nothing crazy. I know his stand-up, it's not like a lot of flair. There's not a lot of power, but it still needs respecting. It's technically correct. It's, it's tidy. His wrestling's his main thing. Obviously training at AKA and doing college wrestling and all that stuff. But in a way, because he's not like super out of the ordinary, he's still really good, but he's not like out of the ordinary. All the training I've done all my career prepares you for an opponent like that. It's not like I've been matched up with some southpaw karate guy who does Imanari rolls and eats 20 sardines for breakfast and then runs to the top of a mountain and does origami and wears sunglasses at night and does all crazy stuff. It's just kind of like, it's just a tidy, correct fighter. He'll be very proficient. He's got a really good grinding, like gas tank. And it's just being ready to go 5 rounds. Work out of bad positions. Oh, punish him. Work out, defend the takedowns, then punish him.
Yeah, I get the feeling like when you come to fight, like you just sit there and look at these ones and go, he doesn't look too good, and you just sort of laugh between yourselves. You know what I mean?
I think to be fair, like, because like we do more, so like I'll tend to study George's opponent more than George will study George's opponent, and George will study my opponent more than I will. And it's like, it's been really shit, this one, because Driscoll's boring as fuck. Fucking pain in the ass watching his shit fucking fights.
Nearly falling asleep.
Yeah, it's like I think that's a strategy of this. It's like I'll make my fights that boring. People can't study them because
I did that. That must be the tactic. Be really boring. No one studies them, and then he surprises everybody because no one knows what to expect. Because they can't stay awake for his fights.
Then he comes out with southpaw karate and sardine breath and origami and all that stuff that I just listed.
Are you each other's main sparring partners then?
Yeah, like we're probably we do have some really good guys in the gym as well. It's like we're in a weird position where like we're the only two pros in our gym, but they're guy. Like, Big Alex hasn't fought MMA, but he is a fucking difficult round.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand about MMA. We've gone and trained with people at different levels, like UFC level, and done really good, like had really good rounds. And then we've had people like amateur who've not fought, giving us harder rounds in the gym. Obviously, it's not like they could just go out and then fight at a UFC level because it's completely different competing. But there's amateurs, you know, everyone will say this, there's amateurs who'll give you a harder time in the gym than certain pros and pro champions and UFC level fighters.
Yeah,
you think that's got anything to do with, like, you know, some of the pros might sort of hold back a little bit in sparring, whereas the amateurs just like, fuck it, I've got to make an impression?
Possibly, but then again, I just think some like amateurs are coming to the gym fresh and they're just, maybe they're hungry and maybe they just have a different skill set.
Yeah, like so certain times with some pros, not all of them obviously, but like with some, it's like, again, they're almost just doing things correct, and by doing things that are just correct, you're doing things that are just predictable. Like there's nothing unusual about it. But whereas like Big Al, who we mentioned, like he's obviously he was a British judo squad member, so he has like all kinds of fucking weird shit there, which makes him incredibly hard to deal with. Like it's stuff you're not used to, so it's like, oh, I can't clinch him properly because if I put my weight here, I'm just going to be flung about, and we can like offset your entire game because of that.
Yeah, he just ip-ons the fuck out of us.
How big is Big Al?
Big. Fucking big. Like, he's not stepped on the scales in the gym in a while, but big.
He's thick, solid, tight.
I remember that meme.
Yeah, I guess that's literally the best way you can explain it. Just big. That's all you need to know. So George, obviously this is the third opponent you've been scheduled to fight for the title. Has that affected your preparations at all with having so many different opponents, different skill sets? Has there been any effect on your sort of preparation?
Yeah, because it's kind of been like the opponent swaps have been quite different. First, it was Mehdi, who was like high-level footwork and grip boxing and in and out and has loads of flair and what have you. And then the next matchup was this Danilo Belluardo Italian guy who was just like a southpaw wrestler who just like bummed in on shots. And then he got fucking, I'm pretty sure I could say he got arrested now. You know, fuck knows. Hypothetically, he did. Don't put me in any shit. And then Capera, who was a judo guy, who I was well prepared for because of Big Al.
Big Al.
Yeah, Big Al. It was like a judo guy with just a cement block head and a hard right hand. And now it's come to Kyle Driscoll, who's just a very correct fighter. So in terms of changing of the training, it's like change different focuses and techniques to work. But I think it's having that full Mehdi camp was a good learning experience as well. Maybe I pushed it just a little too far for that in some respects, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I didn't need to have that many spars that far out.
Yeah.
Whereas it's kind of just a bit balanced, a bit better now. It's only like micro changes, really.
Yeah. But one thing that sounds like it's changed a lot is your enthusiasm. Like, you've got Mehdi's the footwork, and then your next opponent's, got good stuff, and then Kyle, he's
Kyle's just Kyle.
This is a lot of fighters aren't very like performance focused and think, oh, I'm fighting a wrestler, he's going to grab on my single leg. There was a day of training the other week where I'd done my sessions in the morning, strength and conditioning, whatever, done my wrestling on the night, tired, I just showered and like dragging my feet toward, after a shower, and I'm just thinking to myself, this guy's coming thousands and thousands of miles from America, and he trains with Khabib and Makhachev and DC, and I get 25 minutes to fight him and test my skills against him. I was just grinning to myself. It's like, I get such fucking sick opportunities in my life. Just happy as fuck about it. I can test my wrestling. I can test my wrestling fusion of Middlesbrough and Afghanistan against his wrestling fusion of America and Dagestan.
Yeah, like he's got a fucking Khabib. We've got Abdul fucking Muhammad.
It's no comparison, really, is it? So, Harry, yourself, then you recently commentated at Rise and Conquer 10 back in May. What was that like as an experience for you, and is that something you'd like to revisit?
Yeah, it was good. Like, I was actually nervous for it. Like at the time, I was a bit like, oh God, what if I'm shit? Because like, I think every fighter can say at some point that they've had a fight where the commentator has done such a shit job of commentating the fight, it almost ruins watching it back. I was well aware of that as a thing, but no, like I felt like I did a really good job. Like I definitely want to do that again. I was like getting fucking compliments of people. I had like loads of the fighters from that show follow me afterwards, so I was like, oh, well, fuck, I'm good at that.
Yeah.
My last was a bit fuming that I didn't turn up dressed smart. I just turned up in joggers and wore like the free shirt that they give me. So I'll probably have to make more of an effort next time, unfortunately.
It's all a learning experience. You've got to know that you can't do that to not do it next time, haven't you? So,
well, I think I can do that. It's fucking Rise and Conquer. It's in Sunderland. Oh, well, it's in Sunderland. No one in Sunderland gives the slightest fuck how you dress.
To be fair, yeah, I didn't know it was in Sunderland.
You have pajamas and no one would give a fuck.
No, to be fair, I didn't know it was in Sunderland. You were probably still the best dressed person there. What about yourself, George? Is that something you'd ever consider doing?
Yeah, like I'd probably be more into doing like maybe a longer form analysis video than live commentary type of a thing. I got offered to judge for that, but they offered him commentary like 120 quid.
You don't talk about the money.
Well, they offered him commentary like X amount of quid. And then
you've already said it now. It's 120 quid. You've already said it.
Well, the offer for judging a much harder job was less. A bit less.
Yeah, they offered it. What's the currency in Zelda? Do they use rupees in Zelda or whatever? Yeah, it's like they offered him.
What's the currency in Zelda?
They offered him X amount of Mario coins, and then me significantly less to do judging, which is a harder job. So I thought, yeah, but like, you know what? I'm going up a big hill.
Yeah,
I went to the lakes and went up a big hill instead.
He went to the lakes with his lass and went to the hill and seen some cows and stuff.
I had some beans, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you didn't enjoy that more anyway than the pressures of judging. Isn't that something you'd ever do if you got offered more rupees, like did you say, Zelda currency?
Well, Mario coins.
Yeah, I think there might be a bit of a Dunning-Kruger with it, where I'm aware how difficult judging would be, so I'd be less likely to take it. Whereas someone who possibly knows a lot less than me would think, "Oh yeah, I know loads."
George just being like, "Oh, there might be a bit of a Dunning-Kruger there, like fucking Dunning-Kruger, like the Dunning-Kruger." It's very like,
yeah, it's commonly known.
Do either of you know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is?
I can't say I do.
It's like, well, when someone who's less intelligent on a given subject is more confident about their knowledge about it.
So it's
Whereas
like who's judging, basically.
Yeah. Someone who's more intelligent on a subject is less confident about it because they know how much they don't know. Well,
Right.
I get. I know what you mean. I know what you mean now. But to be fair, that just seems like MMA judges in general. The amount of sort of mad card point scoring you see is off the chart. So, is that something you'd like to see though? Just on that, like, do you think more? Would you like to see more sort of ex-fighters or even current fighters go into the judging side of thing? Would that benefit the sport?
See, there's two sides to that coin. The ex-fighters have been there. They've got more knowledge. They've spent decades and thousands and tens of thousands of hours training it, and they know more about it. The other side to that coin is they're a significantly more brain damaged demographic. So
that is true, yeah.
And to be fair, a lot of ex and current fighters haven't got a fucking clue what they're doing.
So basically, the judging in the MMA is fucked. Like if you get
It will
fighters, then
probably always be fucked.
Yeah, probably.
In my split decision loss to Luke Odd, one of his training partners was judging that fight.
There's no bias at all.
Not at all.
No bias whatsoever. I just remembered it the other day because I fucking I just went back on like the guy's Facebook a little bit and seen him in a training room with Luke Odd. So I posted that picture with just a big red circle around him. Probably wasn't the most professional things to do there, but fuck it.
Well, that's it. I think on your next fight, then you'll have to, whenever you're next fighting, Harry will have to get George on the judging card just to make it even.
Fucker.
Well, I'm not giving Harry a fucking round.
I was going to say that you should be more the people that give him the round rather than your brother. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't give you that round, even though you won it. So now you've got to go out and push more. You know what I mean? Like you should sort of motivate each other by not scoring it for each other.
Or instead of writing like a number next to his name, like 10 or 9 points, just like, why did you do all these this round?
I did hear a funny story. I think he was like an ex-judo guy was judging, and like the announcer got the thing to read out the decision, and it was like he got like 10-point must scorecards from other people, and then just got 7-4 written on the scorecard. What the fuck's
George, are you writing on them? Why aren't I getting paid more for this?
Fuck you, pay me.
I want more rupees, or I'm going up another hill.
Yeah. So let's jump on to the next question, and this is for both of you. So you've both fought on Bellator in the past. So similar to the last question, what was that experience like, and were you surprised to get a call from them relatively early in your careers?
It was all right. I met Big Nasty. No, it was. I think because sort of I'm kind of like showing you behind the curtain a little bit of how MMA works. But Pete, one of our coaches, used to train with Jude Samuel, the matchmaker of Bellator Europe. And like obviously Jude Samuel didn't just put us on straight away, but like Pete was in a position where he could pester him for like a year, constantly messaging him and annoying it. And that's kind of how it works. Like that's sort of what managers do and stuff. So yeah, it was good. It was like good experiences. Definitely like opened a lot of doors for us, got a lot of eyes on us. It was good to do that. But the trouble with Bellator is like, even in the best of times, you haven't got a fucking clue when you're fighting next. And like with COVID and all that, it was just like you'd fight and then you'd have no idea when you. So like that's what a Cage Warriors is a lot better in. Like you know when you're next fighting almost. Like
yeah.
You've got one fight out the way and you've almost like got, all right, so the next thing, it's like, like last year, it was like we got the fights in June out the way, and I was like, right, so the next thing is late September, early October. Sound, we can just prepare for that. And that's just a big advantage, really. But yeah.
Yeah. And my first Bellator fight in Dublin, it was just like quite an easy money, nice holiday. It was really, I got the fight offer like 3 weeks before. It was at £180, so there was no weight cut at all. Yeah, just flew to Dublin, had a nice time. I could go to the Rolling Donut. You know, there's this donut chain called the Rolling Donut all over Dublin. I could go to that before the weigh-ins. Fine. I think I had like burger, house fries, and a salad the night before the weigh-in. No cut. The other guy asked for a contract weight because the other guy, Richard Keeley, would fight at 170. He asked for a contract.
No,
weight.
I asked for the contract.
Oh, you know,
he wanted it at middleweight for some reason, and we were just like, I don't think you're going to get anywhere near that. So let's just ask for a contract weight of 180 pounds, because then at least you'll be able to get close to that.
Yeah, like not under the limit. Well, anyway, he weighs in like 1.2 pounds over, where there's no allowance on contract weight fights. If it's a catch weight fight, 180 pounds, you have to be 180 pounds exactly or under.
Right.
And you can't be, there's not that pound allowance. He didn't understand that. So I got like 20% of his purse for doing nothing. The fight was fairly simple. I took like 2 jabs. That was it. I just had like a grappling. I just grappled for 8 minutes. Yeah, it was all just very sound. It was a very easy experience. And then had a day out in Dublin the next day.
I'm going to be honest, when you said £180 at the start, I thought you meant money again. I was going to say, George, why aren't they paying you, lads?
No, actually, about fucking money. George got considerably more for his Bellator fight than I did, so he can go fucking tell you. Because the first one was short notice, and then Kylie missed weight, so he got loads of Kylie's money. And then, like, the way it works, you get like an extra X amount of money added on with each win. So it was like, mine wasn't a short notice contract for my first one, so it was less money, and then for my second one, it was less money than George for his second one, because his first one was a short notice contract. And then, so no, fuck him.
To be honest with you, you're giving us quite a bit of insight here, so thank you.
So we're all about nicknames on this channel. We love sort of just talk about nicknames, and we've even helped a few fighters get theirs. Harry, I believe you've got one already, which is Houdini. George, I don't believe you've got one at the moment. Have any been suggested that you've considered, or are you just waiting for the right one to go? That's it.
I've not considered them too much. People have just called me Gio sometimes, but it's not a very like catchy nickname in terms of a ring announcer.
Was that Gio? Did you say
Gio? Like the first 3 letters of George.
Oh right, I thought you meant like Congeal. Like that wouldn't be good.
Oh, Congeal, maybe Congeal. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be the most creative one. It's like Anthony Joshua's nickname is AJ. It's like, that's not a nickname. That's just your initials.
Yeah,
like you could go with that, but it's a bit boring, isn't it?
Yeah, like there was a Middlesbrough football legend called George Hardwick, who there's a statue of him outside the Riverside Stadium, and his nickname was Gentleman George. But then you're a cunt. It doesn't suit you at all.
It's like, I'm not asking someone how the day is.
So what's the polite way we can put that then, like, to be able to make it suitable for broadcast?
Arsehole.
Why don't you just confuse people and have your name as George Harry Hardwick, and then you just get confused then?
One thing, it's too nerdy and Japanese. Well, it's like consider God Hand for 2 reasons. One of my favorite games ever is a stupid game called God Hand, where
look it up. It's fucking it's so retarded but so amazing.
It came out in like 2006 and sold like 1,000 copies.
But then everyone who's actually played it and completed it is like, fuck, that's the best video game that's ever been made.
But also, was it Masoyama?
Oh, the guy who claimed he killed a cow with a punch.
No, did he claim to kill him with punches or by exhaustion?
Oh no, yeah, he wrestled. It was like
Oh yeah, he's just because it sounds weird. He was a karate guy. I think he's the guy. He made.
That's God Hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not there's the good cover art where it looks where the fist's actually going through his mouth.
Right.
It's like
That's the censored one then.
God Hand would get cancelled if it came out now. Like it fucking. There's no way you could bring out God Hand in 2022. Not a chance.
But yeah. Also, Masoyama. I think he was the guy who was like pretty much the inventor of Kyokushin karate, which is the most entertaining karate. His nickname back in the day was God Hand. And then it's got that ring to it of like double alliteration kind of. God Hand hardcore.
Yeah.
But it's just too nerdy almost.
Yeah.
But didn't you say you love the game? So it's not really nerdy, is it? Hey.
Is it more just you think you'd have to explain it too often to people?
Yeah.
I'll have to carry around a copy of God Hand.
And like bring out the manual.
It costs like, if I want to buy a PS2 disc of God Hand, it's like 100 to 200 quid these days. It's one of them rare ones.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah.
But like, you could just show someone so like, whenever God Hand was very sort of like every ist you could be. Sexist, kind of homophobic, a little bit racist. So it was just everything. So like, do you know like in games where if you stun an enemy and this prompt comes up and you can do like an attack on them? So like, because God Hand was made by the same guy who made Resident Evil 4. So like, if you shot the zombies in the face in Resident Evil 4, the button prompt would come up and you go kick or suplex and you'd press it and you do that. In God Hand, any female enemy you do that to, the prompt would be spank.
I guess that's why George liked it so much.
It's the only thing I've ever heard where the director's like, yeah, do you know what? I probably had too much creative control.
See how much PS2s are, lad, and see how much that game is.
We've just got the Energized Joe commenting saying, Parmo Kings.
That is true. Are you aware of what a Parmo is?
I've heard you talk about it before.
George, do you want to do the honors? I explained what a Parmo is on a podcast very recently. So
flattened, breadcrumbed, fried, bechamel sauce on top, then cheese, put under the grill. That's like your base Parmo. Oh, it's delicious. Other variations come with like hot shot Parmo, which has on the cheese, it's toppings like a pizza. You've got like pepperoni, jalapenos, chili flakes, whatever. You get bolognese Parmos with bolognese in the cheese, mushroom Parmos. There's one with pulled pork in it from Central Park. It's absolutely like the best regional dish. Like you go to some places like Hull has spice chips. That's just chips with powder on it. Anyone could do that. Like, what's the Wigan kebab? It's like it's just a pie.
Pie on a like roll, isn't it? Bread roll.
Yeah, and it's a pie with potatoes in it as well. It's like just
just starch on top of starch.
Plain starch. The Parmo is the best regional dish.
The thing with the Parmo as well is you almost always get it with garlic dip. It's like garlic mayo. And it's fucking strong. It makes garlic mayo everywhere else just shit.
Well, it's not even garlic mayo. It's like aioli or something everywhere else.
Well, like aioli can't, like when I was in Spain recently, like aioli was like, okay, the garlickiness in this is sort of okay. It's an acceptable level. It's not at a proper fucking make your sweat stink level, which is what what Middlesbrough garlic sauce is like.
I love when fighters start talking about food. It's just there's a lot of passion about it because you sort of deprive yourselves, don't you?
Yeah, what that is that it's not just fighters. I think it's anyone who competes in a weight class sport. Probably ends up with borderline eating disorders or like full eating disorders. So we're laughing about it, but that's
yeah. I mean, it must be mad. You know what I mean? Like you cutting weight, you're depriving yourself of like Parmos and everything. And then like you look at someone like Paddy, like when he's finished his fight, he's straight in there eating, and people are like, why can't you just not eat so much? But for some people, it must be hard. You know what I mean? Must be like a battle sometimes.
Well, I had this thing where when I fought a welterweight, I had quite a few fights at welterweight. There was no weight cut. Maybe I would diet like a kilo off or something. Nothing real. When I fought at 180, that Bellator fight I was just on about, I think I weighed in like 77 or 78 or something.
You weighed in 175 pounds in heavy, thick shorts with pockets full of change because we didn't want to be too light.
Yeah. So I was like 78 then. And I would just force feed myself a lot of the time, think I've got to like pack on calories. I'm fighting big people. I'm training loads. Never put on a gram. Went back down to lightweight to fight Nicolo Soli at Bellator after. Went to Italy to that fight. That was the first time I cut down to lightweight in however long. It was like the first cut I'd had in a while. Get down to 70, back up to 77 for the fight. But within days, I'm up to 84 after the fight. It's like you teach your body to hold on to everything, and you just have this mad craving. I had food poisoning for 2 of those days as well, and then I still managed to put back on 84, 85. And it's like, that was the first time I'd cut weight in ages. I had the fight with Nicolo Soli, stayed up to watch Adesanya versus Costa, which wasn't worth staying up for. And then at that point, I just thought, well, I'm awake. It's only I didn't sleep because I wanted to get the breakfast. Like, I'd been dieting all week because it was COVID. You were in the hotel bubble all week. I'd been dieting and I couldn't have these massive breakfasts, really. So I'm like, I'm not going to sleep. I'm just going to stay up and pace around until it's breakfast. And I just went mental on it. I think the breakfast started at like 7 and I was there at 7. Just talking stuff onto my plate, like over and over and over. Yeah, it does something to you, cutting weight.
Yeah. How long was you there for? Did it take you long to finish the breakfast? Like, I was just down in a few minutes.
I like to multi-course it. You know, like you start off with a bit of cereal to get you going. You know, not the most like amazing stuff, and then you get all the cooked stuff. But they had loads of different cooked stuff. Like they had like all kinds of fish stuff that I like cooked. You know, the continental stuff, the classic eggs and everything. And then they have the pastries. The pastries is like your third course. So it's like a 3-course thing. Cereal, cooked, pastries with like hot chocolates. And they had jars of Nutella and I was just eating the jars of Nutella from the table, like the little mini jars.
See, I'd lost that night before and I got really, really drunk and then I wasn't awake by breakfast.
Right, okay, so let's go into the next one then. So obviously we've suggested this in the past. This is for you, George. We know you have trained with him in the past, but a fight with Adam Cullen in the future, is that something you would entertain? Like, these are both entertaining fighters. He's on a spree right now. We know you're going to get that title. Is that something you'd entertain?
I mean, hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi. Just pause for a second.
I think they would stand still, George.
All right. Yeah.
Did you get the question, or would you like me to repeat
Oh,
it?
yeah, I got the question. But the plan is to win this belt and then defend it and then get off to the UFC, whatever. It's like, if it absolutely had to, it's business at the end of the day. I know there's a lot of people that fight. I don't know how many fights he'd have to get towards the title. You don't really know. If you absolutely had to, there was no other way. Yeah. But I want to go and train with him more. He's a really sound guy.
Yeah. I'm not even saying that to try to think shit between you, because I know you have trained and that, but I just think a matchup between you would be sick. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like sort of a dream fight when you put it together, you know what I mean? Very entertaining fight.
He's exciting as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
no wasted time.
Yeah. I think that's the same for both of you, though, and you know, you're just straight in there and just taking your opponent out. So
Don't get paid by the hour, so
yeah,
make it quick.
I remember because he got like an anaconda choke where he used his legs to like trap the arm as well. First time I went to Next Gen, I was doing rounds with Adam Cullen and we were drilling that move. We got shown that move and we were drilling it. So it's just sick seeing that. Like, we've trained that move, you know, they're showing us that move and they're using the legs on the anaconda, and then seeing him get it in like 90 seconds or whatever it was, a minute.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sick to see. I like watching that fight. Go, oh, I remember training that.
Yeah.
I remember him and Adam showing us that. Oh, sick seeing that in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, does that happen a lot where like you'll do something in practice, like whether it be like a combo, and you actually put that practice into a fight and it pays off?
The most impressive thing is when you do shit you've never done in fights. I've never practiced that in my life, but it's just happened. Wow, that's the best thing.
You then have to go and train that move. It's like, look, I don't know how I've done it, but like, here's what happened, and that. It just that.
Yeah, I got a flying armbar in the Jits comp fucking years and years ago now, like probably about 7 years ago, something like that. But I never drilled flying arm bars. It was just my back was really stiff that day and I didn't want to wrestle. So, okay, I'll do this. And it landed. I was like, all right.
Happy days, yeah.
That was weird.
Have you hit that move since?
No. Maybe.
As a judge?
I've went for it and swept because I did actually go use it as a sweep on someone in a jiu-jitsu comp a while afterwards. It was proper annoying as well at that one because it was like I won that one, but it was just like I was against this 10th Planet guy, and it was a jiu-jitsu comp in our own gym, so I just couldn't really be asked because like it's hard getting that. And then he goes for this fucking rolling truck bullshit, and he actually gets it on me, and then all the 10th Planet guys are going like, "Whoa, oh my god!" And then prick. So I just fucking like, yeah, I got up and then went for like a flying armbar and swept him with it, and then just started being a right cunt when I got in. I started like smothering his mouth but apologizing to him like, "Oh, I'm sorry about this."
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not really sorry. You know what I mean?
You someone once who do loads of jiu-jitsu competitions, but he didn't really know any wrestling or any takedowns, so his flying armbar, flying armbar, because he didn't know any takedowns. And sometimes he'd work, sometimes he'd sweep, sometimes he'd just end up on his ass.
That's Dan Lewis. He's a fucking beast.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. Yeah.
Look at that. Right, Harry, the next one is for you then. So you're currently on a 3-fight win streak at the moment. When you get the win next week, how far off a title shot do you think you'll be at that point?
Well, the featherweight division's fucking odd. So I could be title fight next. I could be title fight in a fight or two. Who the fuck knows? I'm just gonna beat fuck out of Pasquale, and then just start chatting loads of shit. I don't know. I'll just call out everybody. They've just in the last few days announced James Hendon versus Tobias Farilla and Jeremy Petley versus Steve Amable, which are both like big featherweight fights for the London card George is on. Vucenic's probably not going to be defending his belt anytime soon. I'm not sure when his contract runs out or if he's going to the UFC. We don't know what's happening there. Paul Hughes is injured, I think. I don't know how badly. So yeah, it's just one of those where like the belt is either it could be locked up for a while, or it could just suddenly just boom, become like the belt could become very vacant. It could be this mad scramble for it. It could become available. So I've just got to like beat Pasquale in a way where I don't take a huge amount of damage. Don't get me wrong, I'm willing to totally fuck myself physically to get the win, but I'd rather not. And then just be ready because like, say I get a big performance against Pasquale, I don't know, one of the four guys I just mentioned gets a big performance in London, they could just be like, well, this is the fight that makes sense for the title, so we'll put this together. I just don't know, so I've just got to just keep fighting. It's like the featherweight division in Cage Warriors is fucking mental at the minute, to be fair. Like, it's ridiculously tough. Like, whoever breaks through the featherweight division, like Cage Warriors' featherweight division, and goes to the UFCs, will be taking a big step back in competition for the first however many fights in the UFC. Like that, like the featherweight division is stacked as fuck. It's ridiculous. So yeah, like, yeah, I feel like most of the top of the Cage Warriors featherweight division now is easily top 10, top 5 UFC standard, like easily. So yeah, just gotta be like batter Pasquale, you know, punch his teeth in and that, and then just see what, like, how the fucking landscape of the division is afterwards. Just,
would you say it's more you've got to sort of go out and make a statement at the moment with the featherweight division?
Yeah, yeah, it'll just be whoever looks most impressive at the time. Really, I feel like that's going to be it at the minute.
And then it's like, it's a sport with so many moving parts. It could just be who's healthy at the time. Get the opportunity. It's like there's so many title fights that are decided by, well, this guy was lined up to fight for the title, but his fucking duodenum's knackered or something. Fucking, we get this other guy in.
Just gotta keep rolling with it. Essentially, like, I'll beat Pasquale. I'll make it known that I won the title fight, and then just fucking roll with it and see what happens. By the end of the year, I'll have the belt. Like, I'm saying that now, but whatever fucking confusing, weird Cage Warriors featherweight division path that is, I'll have to go through. Yeah.
Sad. So this next one's for the both of you then. So you fight out the Middlesbrough Fight Academy. Could you both just take a moment just to give your coaches a shout out and sort of explain how important they've been to your careers?
So our main coach, our boss, Abdul Mohammed. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, what ends up bringing like fighter and coach together? And it's just amazing thinking his story coming from Afghanistan, ending up in the UK, ending up in Middlesbrough, you know, and he fought in Cage Rage, was a Cage Rage champion. He was a Cage Warriors champion, and back in 2004. I was just thinking about that the other day. It's like, how fucking lucky we've been to go our first MMA gym. It's run by Abdul Mohammed, like a real fucking legend of MMA. So it's like our main coach is Abdul Mohammed. We also train with Peter Irving, another legend of UK MMA. We go to Newcastle for that. You know, those. And then
he got butthurt because I didn't shout him out in Paddy's podcast. Unit 29 Fitness with Andy Coulson, our strength and conditioning coach. Excellent strength and conditioning coach. One of Phil DeRoo's disciples. Students. Disciples, Phil DeRoo. Yeah, no, but like, you know, we're so lucky to have like a top level strength and conditioning coach there who, you know, he's a strength and conditioning coach for like lots of like the Sunderland footy players, lots of footy players, boxers, and like he knows how to do strength conditioning and run strength and conditioning programs for fighters. So we're really lucky to have that near. Yeah. So there we go, Andy. There's your shout out. I've shouted you out a few times now. That's it. You've had your fill.
I love how you tried to sort of stay in character there, but again, like with words just weren't coming to you.
No. We've been dead lucky. Like having the combination of Abdul and Pete is ridiculous. Like we're really lucky, and then, you know, our gym doesn't have other pro fighters, but it's got a fucking good level in the room. It's got like really top quality guys. So yeah, it's fucking good. MFA is good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Is the fighters in the gym that are sort of close to going pro at the moment?
Not really. No, it's like it's actually quite like the amateur squad's quite young at the minute. Really, we haven't got anyone with really like a lot of amateur fights. We did have a few people, and we did have someone like go pro and then retire last year. Like just like sort of life got in the way, which happens. I'm not going to fucking, I'll never force someone to stay in the brain damage sport. But yeah, it's like it's a good little gym. There's lots of good people there.
Yeah, definitely. So this one's for both of you again. UK MMA at the moment is absolutely flying. Do you think this is the best position UK MMA has ever been in? And how fortunate do you feel yourselves are being part of what could be sort of considered like a golden generation of UK MMA?
It's good at the minute, like, and I just feel like if you ever end up watching like the prelims on a UFC card in America, or if you ever end up watching like regional American shows, the standard is nowhere near as good as UK MMA at the minute. UK MMA at the minute is a fucking like, the standard's ridiculous, and it's getting better. Like like George Staines is only an amateur. Both of us have sparred him, and like he's given us a fucking really hard. Like he's better than both of us were at that age by like a huge margin. And Joe Field. Oh yes, well yeah, Joe Fields might be like going pro. He's a lad at our gym. Number 1 ranked flyweight in the UK. It's like he sort of like still represents his gym back home in Hull a bit as well, and like go train between them. But like, he's better than we were at that age. Like the sport is just fucking moving fast, and it's developing fast in the UK. And then obviously like the UFC is doing its second event of the second UK event of the year. I feel like there's going to be a lot of momentum off this. So yeah, things are looking bright.
Yeah, definitely. Joe Fields is a very, very, very good amateur, and that fight with Chowdhury that he's got coming up is very interesting as well. And obviously your training partner, but how do you see that play out with Fields and Chowdhury?
Fields gun bopping.
Definitely. So finally then, lads, what can we expect from both of you for the rest of the year? Obviously you've got your fights coming up, but after that, do you just plan on fighting again this year, or what can we expect?
I'm gonna smack Pasquale about for a bit, get fat for a bit, hopefully fight in like September, October time, and then injury, touch wood, injuries permitting, fight again in December. Like I didn't get to fight in the first half of this year, but I still feel like I can get 3 fights in this year. Because I got my 3 fights last year within like a 6-month period, so if I feel like I could definitely do that again. That would be nice. Get myself on like a 6-fight winning streak, get a Cage Warriors belt, and then spend Christmas getting really drunk.
I'm really fat again.
What about yourself, George?
For me, I don't really care about anything until beat Kyle Driscoll, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like I want to be consistent after that. I'm not, sometimes people have got their belt, they hold on to it and think it's like an automatic ticket, and then they've lost like a year or 2 of their career because they just sat around. I don't want to do that. I want to compete more, especially with like the international scope of Cage Warriors broadening out. This is quite a historic fight for Cage Warriors in UK MMA, my title fight. It's the first time they've had this big, like a US versus UK title fight.
And Juicy J fought Paddy.
Oh yeah, Junior. Yeah, apart from that. apart from that. But But you know, with the scene now with Cage Warrior,
Yeah,
You just threw him off there.
I don't know how I forgot because I was watching a podcast where he's talking about that fight the other day. But yeah, but anyway,
I mean,
Apart
just comes in headline the Cage Warriors San Diego, and he's like, he's an American talent that they brought up.
yeah,
There
it's,
we
it's,
go.
yeah, it's kind of a bit different. It's not like yeah, but still, especially now with Cage Warriors expanding into San Diego, it's kind of like it opens floodgates for people going back and forth, I think.
Yeah.
And this is like the first one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I retract what I said. I'm going to beat Pasquale, and then I'm just going to beg Ian Dean and Graham Boylan to get me a fight in San Diego. Load of extra days after the fight.
Yeah, that's one thing I was just going to ask you, obviously, with the expansion and that. Like you mentioned before about fighting Italian fighters, they're looking to go over to Italy. Is that something that you'd be interested in, going over to Italy and fighting?
Yeah, because when we went to Italy before, we didn't really go to Italy.
Yeah, we got locked in a hotel for a week because of COVID regulations. We could mix it, like it was the most ridiculous thing ever. There were fucking guests coming in and out of the hotel. The staff were coming in and out of the hotel. We were mixing them with them. We were just like, we were in the same lifts. We were using the same hat. Like that. It was the most pointless quarantine I've ever. Like, it was literally just to say they were doing it. It was so dumb.
Well, what's that hotel in America that the song meant to be based on, where you go but you don't leave?
No, no clue.
Hotel California.
Yeah, as you sure,
Oh, yeah.
sure it went that like you were in there but you couldn't leave. Everyone else was coming in.
You check out anytime you want. You can never leave, and then guitar solo.
Lads, I think that's everything. That's all the questions we have for you. It's been absolutely amazing having you on, lads. You're always tough fun and that. I look forward to seeing you fighting and getting those wins.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Yeah, looking forward to it too.
Take it easy, lads.
Right, thanks for joining us. Take it easy.
Right. Thanks for having us on, lads.
Yeah. We are still live, by the way, so.
Oh, yeah. Just before I say anything really offensive.
Yeah, but thanks once again, lads. Anyway, take it easy.
Cheers, lads.